Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about American politics, and we are specifically going to talk about the first 1,000 days of Donald Trump's king-like rule, and how President Donald Trump is shattering so many bulwarks in American politics that they can't even be counted fast enough because because of flooding the zone. Let's dig into this. All right, so uh, it is absolutely astonishing what is happening. So first of all, let's talk about the first 100 days. Forget the first 100 days. You are looking at a president with a mandate. So Donald Trump won so hard against President Joseph Biden. Oh, did Kamala run? I can remember. Right? I think they put her at as the period at the end of the sentence. Donald Trump beat President Joseph Biden, in case you're wondering. Yeah, they put in the Kamala placeholder, but he beat Biden, right? So I don't think anybody ever really considered Kamala's run real, right? She was literally just hey, listen to this sentence. What do you think of the period at the end of the sentence? I don't really care about the period at the end of the sentence. I care about the sentence, right? Like, and I don't think Kamala's run never mattered. I don't think anybody really even, she was a placeholder for President Joseph Biden. So it's important to understand that Donald Trump beat President Joseph Biden. He didn't beat Kamala Harris. All right. Okay, let's keep rolling. All right, let's get into this. Pretty astounding. So, so first of all, most presidents say, "Oh, what are you going to do in your first 100 days? That's what really matters." Trust and believe. This is the first thing that President Trump is shattering. For him and for any president of power, we'll get into that in a minute. For any president of power, it's the first 1,000 days, right? I think the first 1,000 days of President Donald Trump are going to matter. He doesn't need to worry about his first 100 days. He is just smashing through every obstacle to doing every single thing he wants, like a king. He really, and I think that's the best way to understand Donald Trump, is he is the first American king. And you could trust and believe the Trump name going forward, and every kid he has is American royalty. We're back. We really are. It's definitely American royalty. So with that, with American royalty and an American king here, uh, I I want to explain what's happening. So first of all, in his first 1,000 days, one of the things he's doing is he's flooding the zone. So this is a term I heard on the New York Times podcast with Mike Barbaro, and they talked about flooding the zone. And basically, uh, there was a lot of inefficiency when Donald Trump came in on his first term, with his first 100 days, and with his entire term. They didn't really know how to do anything. They didn't know how to run the government, right? But the Republican Party was like, oh my gosh, we got a banger winner here, and we're going to bring him back. We're going to get 4 more. So while that 4 years is going, there have been a ton of conservative, hyper conservative think tanks that have said, hey, President Donald Trump plays ball. He will run the Republican playbook. So we build the policy, and then he just enacts it, right? Now he's going to interrupt it. He's going to interrupt it anytime he wants. But the reality is there's a ton of things he doesn't care about, and we can build policy, and he wants to feed red meat to his red base. And so we can get a lot of what we want here, and that's exactly what's happening. Donald Trump is doing everything he wanted. The first thing he wanted is he wanted revenge, and he got it against a whole bunch of people, right? Anybody who had ever shown disloyalty to him, he virtually eviscerated them day one, right? Then he has these teams, and he just let these teams go to town enacting Project 25, like Project 2025, like projects, right? Projects were like, I don't know what that is, and I believe him. I don't think he knows what it is, but he's like, these are conservatives. I want, my base is conservative. Let them do whatever they want to do. What do I care, right? Like, and he doesn't. He doesn't care what they're doing, right? But he has been massively effective. So one of the things and how do you know that he's been massively effective? Go listen to the New York Times podcast with Mike Barbaro, and they're doing this Trump 2.0 piece, right? And he is talking to a bunch of, I'm pretty sure everybody he talked to was white. Was one of the whitest podcasts I've ever heard in my life. Just so astonishingly like white. It's really white. So like there's just a wall of white people and they're all complaining about Donald Trump. Actually, I'm sorry, they're not complaining about Donald Trump. That's the entire point. A year ago, or 2 years ago, or actually when he was in, these same people would have just been complaining ad nauseum about Donald Trump. But the world has changed, and you can see. So, what is Mike Barbaro and his panel of white people doing right now? It's astonishing. Listen to this. It is. By the way, Ivy League, all Ivy League white people, like Ivy Leaguer white people, like it's astonishing. Uh, Holy cows, man! All right, so they are all just talking. They're filling the entire podcast just saying explaining how Donald Trump has utterly destroyed the left, has owned them at every possible metric, and that has redefined new levels of success for Republicans, for conservatives, and for people who use the term patriotism rather than jingoism, right? And it's incredible. Like, and I'll just give you one example, but there's 15 like this, right? So tariffs, they're like, oh, tariffs aren't gonna, 2 months ago they were like, tariffs aren't gonna work. In the first 2 weeks, uh, Mexico and Canada completely bended the knee and were like, we'll do anything you want to not have your tariffs imposed. And President Trump is like, you're going to give me this, 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 you're going to give me this. And they're like, we will absolutely give you that. And and then he said, guess what? That gives you a month of mercy. We'll come back and I'll demand more in a month. And he has utterly made, it's astonishing. He has made Canada and Mexico his subordinates. Like, he's completely subordinated them to American will. And just like, you're going to do what I want. And people are like, oh, tariffs aren't effective. Are they not effective now, fool? You could just tell world leaders what to do, and they'll do it. That's effective. Really? Like, it's a pretty astonishing, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.